How's it going, guys? Today I'll be going over part 2 of the installation of the Retro Sound New York M1A radio. In the last video we went over how to install the knobs and plug everything in. I didn't screw in these 4 total screws, but you guys can easily do that. And the one thing is, to actually get to these 2 screws over here, you'll have to undo the knobs and then screw it in and then put the knobs back in. In this video, I'll be going over how to wire everything. I soldered everything at work, but I will show you what I have done. I have also bought the Access Integrate. This will allow you to keep your stock Bose speakers in your car. It's something, I'm pretty sure it's like Bose speakers have their amplifiers built into them, and the radio has an amplifier built into it, and they just don't work good together. So you need this. I can put a link in the description, but you'll need this if you're planning on keeping your stock speakers. Now, if you remember from last video, there's so many different wiring harnesses. There's just so many of them, and I didn't go over what was what, but I will do that now. So in the box you're going to receive this wiring harness. This goes into the factory plug behind the radio, and then you do all your soldering. We are not going to use this, so we'll put that to the side. Next, this wiring harness plugs into the back of the radio and has plugs right here, and I'll show you what will plug into here. This harness and this harness will plug into here, and this harness, and if it might get confusing, but it's really not. This harness right here is with your Access Integrate. This is what they give you. So this goes into your factory wiring harness behind the radio. These 2 guys will go into here and into here, and this white and this black are going to go into here, which is going to go into the back of the aftermarket radio. It's really not that complicated. You might just have to slow things down and just realize what's what. And it's not going to come connected like this. I soldered this together, and this is, I'm going to go over what colors go to what, but it's really not that confusing. Just slow the video down and it'll make sense to you guys. You get 2 last things. You get this wiring harness, which will also go into this part of the Access Integrate. It goes into the output. I don't know if we're going to be using this one, so I'm going to put it to the back. I really don't know. And lastly, you get your antenna from this radio to the C5 antenna. It'll make sense when we're back there. Alright, so we got 2 wiring diagrams, and if you're new to this stuff, it might look really confusing, but it's really not. This is my information from the Access Integrate, and this is my information from the aftermarket speaker. So if we look here, we have yellow, our constant 12 volt, red, our ignition / accessory, black or ground, blue is our power antenna, and blue-white is our remote amp turn on. We will not be using this power antenna since I didn't see a wire in the Access wiring harness that had the power antenna, so we're not going to be using that. Our left front speaker, the negative will be white with a black stripe, positive will be white. Right front speaker is going to be negative, gray with the black stripe, positive is going to be gray. Same thing with left speaker, you have your green and black for the negative, your green for the positive, and lastly, your rear right, you have your purple with the black stripe, negative, purple is positive. You also get an aux input 1, and that's for your antenna. I really like the aux input. This is the whole reason I got it, so I can play my own music. Now on the Access Integrate manual, we get this wiring information. Our black is ground, which is the same. Yellow is the 12-volt constant, which is the same. Reds are accessory. Blue/whites are amp turn on, which is the same. Orange is our illumination. We will not be using this one. Gray, black are for the speakers. White, black for the speakers. Purple, black for the speakers. And green, black are for the speakers. So everything is pretty much the same. Now I think this is what people really want to see, is the actual colors going to the color, which wire goes to which wire. And I'll go over this really slowly so you guys can understand. Now, if you remember, you have a white harness and a black harness. Your white is just for the speaker wires. Your positive and negative for all 4 speakers. And your black is for other power, like your constant, your accessory, and things like that. So I'll be going over this one first. Now you see, I soldered these together and I put heat shrink over top of them just so it won't come apart. But let's go over each color. Remember, we have blue. Blue was for the antenna power up. The Access Integrate harness didn't come with the blue, so I just heat shrink the end so it won't be used. Red is our accessory, and this seems to be the biggest problem with this Access Integrate. It comes with 2 reds, and there are wires underneath the dash, up underneath the dash over there, right over there underneath the dash. There's supposed to be wires where you're supposed to connect this red, and everyone seems to have problems. Well, I read some guy said he connected the 2 reds to the red going into the radio, and it worked fine. So I'm going to try that out. You see, I just electrical taped it because I'm probably going to have to take it off and resolder it if it's wrong. But so the reds is going to be a little confusing, but the red in the radio will go to the 2 reds and the Access Integrate. Next, we have our yellow, which is just the constant 12-volt from the battery. Yellow goes to yellow. What do we have over here? We have blue-white. This is the amp turn on. Both blue with the white stripe will connect to each other. And black with black, ground with ground. You need your ground. So that's pretty easy. This one just has 4 wires you gotta connect, and that's it. And we have an orange coming out of the Access Integrate harness, and this orange is the illumination. This radio, I guess, doesn't have it, where when you turn your lights it changes colors, or maybe it's built in, I don't know. So that's it for this black wiring harness. Let's go over to this white wiring harness. Now this is as simple as it gets. You'll have 2 of the same wire colors for each speaker, but one will have a black stripe in it for the negative. Your green goes to green. Green with the black stripe goes to green with the black stripe. Same with the whites, same with the grays, same with the purples. There's no trick to it. It even says it all right here. It's very simple. Now, if you have any questions about this, feel free to comment. I'd love to help. But it might look complicated if you've never done it before, but it's really not. And if you don't know how to solder, YouTube is your friend. You'll find anything on YouTube. Now, let's plug it into our Access Integrate. So, you'll have 2 harnesses that look like this, 2 black harnesses. One will say 2 XSVI, which is this little guy. It says on the back, XSVI. So, all we do is we find our tab, which is right here, and plug it in. Now it's in. Next, we will get this other one. It doesn't have a label on it. And plug it into the input side of this. And popped in. And you can see like the gains. I don't really know how this works. Pretty sure it just amplifies it more. So I might play with that. If I find anything, I'll let you guys know. So now you have your access hooked up. You can even plug this random harness in. I don't think we're going to use it into the output. For now, I might remove it. But yeah, there's your access. Now remember, this is gonna plug in behind the radio, and your white and black will go into here. Your white will go up here. Oh no, your white goes down here. And just lock that in, and your black comes up here. Lock that in, and now you have one huge big harness. And that's probably gonna be it for this video. I just wanted to connect everything and show you guys. Well, I can do this. Lastly, this end will plug into here. So you guys know how to do that. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. But that's gonna be it for part 2 of the installation. Like I said, if you got any questions, let me know. This stuff isn't that hard. It's really easy. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in part 3.